Good evening, folks, and welcome back to another episode of NASCAR Backmarker Battles. I am your host of the ARC Racing Podcast, Colby Evans, and we are joined on a very late Thursday evening. I want to start off by saying I'm sorry, guys. Usually, you guys know the drill. We start this show at 7 p.m. Central Time. I had some commitments to take care of tonight. You know how sometimes you want a fun junker car to drive around, drive around the lots for fun? Well, I wanted to get one of those. And my father and I went to go look at a listing, picked up the junker car. It's a 1991 Mercury Coupe. So that's going to be a fun car to drive. And but I'm back here. Wanted to still get a podcast in for you guys. So for the people who are still joining me tonight, I thank you very much. And for the people who missed out on this show live, I'm sorry. But if you're still watching this podcast later, thanks again. So we have a lot to talk about today. We got to go over the Xfinity race from Michigan, the Cup race from Michigan, and the big weekend in Indianapolis coming up ahead, the Truck Series at IRP, and the Xfinity and Cup Series on the Indianapolis road course. I'm sure many of you also right now are watching the SRX race from Eldora. If you see the lights flickering, like you can kind of tell my screen, I'm actually watching the SRX race. My computer is sitting right in front of my TV right now, so I'm trying to do two things at once. Yeah, we're going to go through my small little intro. We're going to shorten the intro a little bit, and we'll get right into the NASCAR action. You guys know the drill. Start and Park on Twitter. Follow me for all fun tweets. Like and subscribe to my channel. Turn on that bell for all notifications so you don't miss a podcast when we go live. And, of course, check out theracingexperts.com, the official media outlet of this podcast. Whew. So let's get right into it, shall we? I missed the crash. Supposedly, I was seeing photos reported. Apparently, like half the field in the SRX races crashed. I guess we'll start off with that, Daniel, in the chat. Yeah, so SRX, man, they've looks like Paul Tracy was not the problem after all. Just kind of jokingly saying, considering that they still managed to crash half the field. So yeah, back starting off with Michigan. No Truck Series at Michigan, which I still have a problem with. The Truck Series put on great races at Michigan with their drafting package. Very rarely do SRX. Again, I'm watching SRX. That's what I'm getting my name. Very rarely did the truck races at Michigan suck. They were very, very good. I highly enjoyed them. The last couple ones we had, you didn't know who was going to win. A lot of them included last lap passes. So, yeah, very, very fun to watch. Just kind of sucks that they're not there. But we still got the Xfinity Series with one of the more fun names of the season, the 2023 Cabo Wabo 250. Very tongue twister type name. We had 40 cars for 38 spots. On our initial entry list preview show last week, I had predicted the 53. I predicted the 53. I believe I actually did pick the 53 and the 44 to miss this race. I actually said that with drivers Dawson Cram and Sage Karam. We know that Fast Track Racing has been helping out CHK with their on their pull down rig, getting the car set up, and we know Carl Long has been able to get his pull down rig now fixed as well. So he can actually do a lot more with his cars as well. And they had two good drivers. We know Dawson Cram is a good qualifier. And we know that Sage Karam, he's one of the best. He's a really, really solid race car driver. He's just kind of looking for any opportunity he can get, whether it's with Alpha Prime Racing, Sam Hunt Racing, or MBM Motorsports. Sage Karam will pretty much drive anything. You got to make a name for yourself in the sport. Leland Honeyman Jr. was originally supposed to be the driver of the 44, but due to not running a big track in ARCA or Truck Series, was denied to run the 44, unfortunately. And Mason Massey came in. He had been he'd been driving the 08 as of late, and kind of came in as a late fill-in to fill in the 44 car. The practice results for the Backmarkers. Again, sometimes at a big track like this, the big guys can struggle, but we had some good ones. Some of the moments of practice included RSS Racing. While the 38 car there made it safely, the hauler that was transporting the 39 and 28 cars had a problem and barely got there. They got there about, 45 minutes to an hour before tech. They managed to get both cars through, so luckily for RSS, they made it because, and even in NASCAR rules, even though the 39 and the 28 are locked into the show, regardless, if you don't present your car to tech, you go home. I believe that's the NASCAR rulebook. If you don't present your car to tech in time, you go home. Now, I'm sure NASCAR would have made an exception because of their hauler breakdown. not their faults. I mean, hauler breakdowns, you don't hear about them a lot, but they still happen from time to time. So I'm sure they would have let them go either way. But luckily for RSS, they got that problem fixed. Some of the notable good runs in practice for the backmarkers. Kyle Weatherman, we know he's one of the best backmarker drivers. P11 in the 91 for DGM Racing. We had Brennan Poole up in 21st, which for a JDM car is pretty impressive. We had Garrett Smithley in the top 30. So for both JD cars at a track like this to be in the top 30, that's pretty impressive. There was hope. I did have hope for both the 74 and the 66. Sage was 33rd on practice trials, and Dawson was 35th. And I'm like, man, that's close. They're very close. If they can just run a good lap, they really got a shot at it. Cars like CJ McLaughlin, I didn't think he had a chance at all with how slow he was. And the Alpha Prime cars, surprisingly, the highest Alpha Prime car was only 29th fastest. So it was kind of curious, man, to see how Alpha Prime would do in this qualifying session. Come qualifying, man, I'm telling you, you guys know I'm a CHK and MB fan at the heart, and I was chomping at the bit, man. I'm biting my fingernails. I'm nervous. Sage Karam's a great qualifier. We know Dawson Cram. Can get the most out of that car as well if they can just get clean laps in. Both cars came into this unsponsored. Mike Harmon had some tiny YouTube sponsorship on the door, and the 66 came into this race completely unsponsored. So for these guys, if they had both missed the show, it would have been some pretty big financial losses. And it didn't look very good in the beginning. I'll be honest with you. It did not look very good in the beginning. They ran some decent lap times. They both picked up from practice by quite a bit, but they didn't exactly run what I thought were going to be making the show lap times. In qualifying, the highest backmarker I would classify was the 91 of Kyle Weatherman. He was still 20th, which is still pretty impressive for a DGM car. But the real story was the Alpha Prime cars, in my opinion. All very slow. Mason Massey, Jeffrey Earnhardt, and Ryan Ellis all qualifying outside of the top 33 on speeds. Now, I'm telling you, that's pretty shocking. I don't think it reflects what Alpha Prime Racing can really do. I don't think it can really reflect what the team can really do. Alpha Prime Racing is better than that. We know they're better than that. But yeah, to see Alpha Prime Racing, all three cars outside the top 33 was pretty shocking. Seeing CJ McLaughlin as one of the slowest, not shocking. Blaine Perkins, for some reason, Michigan is just not one of his good tracks. Blaine Perkins is not good at Michigan for some reason. Patrick Emmerling, both Emmerling Gase cars, they don't really run very fast on these bigger tracks without leased motors, of course. And that benefited both the 66 and the 74. They both made the show barely. The 74 was 32nd, and the 66 was 33rd, right on the bubble. Mason Massey missed the field. Get this, guys. He missed the field by a whopping 8 1,000ths of a second. At a track like Michigan, 2 miles long, 8 1,000ths of a second is all it took for Mason Massey to be in the show to be out of the show. And that's the entertaining part of qualifying. These great underdog stories like CHK and MBM for the very first time this year. Hard to believe. This was the very first time this year that both CHK and MBM were in the same race together. Kind of hard to believe, but that's actually true. The first race of the season where both cars were against each other. And man, for Alpha Prime Racing, man, it's been a tough go as of late. What is that? The second DNQ now? Second or third DNQ for the 44 this year? 44 car, I mean, that's supposed to be like the flagship car for that team. That was supposed to be with Jeffrey Earnhardt. That got quickly changed. They put Jeffrey in the 45. And it's kind of been a mess for that team. Jeffrey's lost his full-time sponsors, so he won't be running a lot of the rest of the season, unfortunately. Ryan Ellis is arguably the greatest success story of that team this year. He's done the best. The 45's done okay. 45's done okay, but the 44 is definitely kind of the runt of that organization, which sucks because we know Alpha Prime, like I said, they're better than that. But so the 44 went home, unfortunately. Sucks for Mason Massey. He was really hard on himself on Twitter, so I hope he's in a better mental state. And unshockingly, CJ McLaughlin. We knew this was going to happen. Like I called it at the beginning of the year. When you put a slow driver in a slower car, with all due respect, you kind of have a recipe for disaster there. You kind of have a recipe for disaster. And CJ's just slow. I mean, even when he makes the race, he's just slow. And they're not helping the 53's assets. I mean, the 53 is already low enough in points. So then you combination that with either a poor finish. I mean, what are they doing? They either DNQ the race or they make the race and run slow. So it's like, what benefit really is there to having CJ in the car? And CJ's a good guy. I'm not saying he's not a bad guy, but man, he has not shown any improvement as a race car driver, in my personal opinion. But yeah, for me, it was great seeing my guys, Carl and Mike, make the show. And they didn't just make the show and break down. They ran good the whole race and brought speed with them. We'll kind of skip through the race. I mean, you guys remember how it went. It was great battles all day for the lead, multiple yellows. The poor 08 car, Mason Maggio, took 2 hard hits. SS Greenlight Racing literally has the worst luck out of any organization I've seen this year. Hard to believe, SS Greenlight Racing started 2023 off with 2 full-time drivers, Greg Galding in the 08, Blaine Perkins in the 07. It was going to be as simple as that. And here we are now. Blaine Perkins is at the 02 team. Greg Galding is just gone, pretty much. And the team is just going with week-to-week pay drivers. And it's just, they're not good. Both cars have just not done good. I don't blame the drivers. Now, supposedly, Bobby Dotter, that's his name, is just trying to make it to 2024. Supposedly, Bobby Dotter's got something big planned for 2024, and he's just trying to get there. But man, is he just making his team look bad. And I don't blame Bobby. I don't blame the organization. I don't know what it is. But man, SS Greenlight Racing, this was a near playoff caliber team in 2019. And 4 years later, they've been reduced to both cars running outside the top 30 on a weekly basis. Somehow they both made the show. Mason Maggio, he was involved in 2 hard crashes. The first one that involved on lap 11, that included everybody. And then he blew a tire going into turn 1 at Michigan, which was going to be a bad crash. So that sucked for them. And then the 07 of Stephon Parsons, I mean, he only finished 31st. So, for those 2 cars, it was just, I mean, at least the 07 finished. But at the end of the day, 31st is nothing to celebrate. The only other real underdog incident we had was kind of a bad weekend overall for EGM. We talked about how the 53 failed to qualify. Well, the 35, with about 10 laps to go, he crashed. He hit the wall hard. So unfortunately for the 35 car, they couldn't even muster up a good finish either. So it was definitely a weekend that Emerling Gase Motorsports would like to forget, that's for sure. For the people who have joined me, I know this is not my usual office. This is actually my room. So for the new viewers of this podcast, yes, this is my room. I know I started collecting when I was 5. I haven't collected as much lately, but as you can tell, I had a slight problem with collecting cars. So for everyone else who's in here, thank you for, again, joining me tonight. Sorry we're so late. But yeah, going to kind of skim through the race here for the backmarker finishes. Some backmarkers were able to come out of this race with really good runs. Kyle Sieg, 19th. Kyle Sieg is such an underrated guy right now, I feel like, on the Xfinity Series roster. Josh Williams, 22nd. Ryan Ellis and Jeffrey Earnhardt, still 2 respectable finishes for Alpha Prime, which really showed. I think had the 44 made the race, he still would have showed that he had good speed. So 23rd and 24th for the 43 and 45. 25th place for the 66 of Carl Long, 2 straight top 25s. If you would have told me a month ago that Carl Long was going to get 2 straight top 25 finishes, I would not have believed you. I really, really hope this is the turnaround for MBM Motorsports. They deserve it. They've been through so much this year. I really hope this is the start of a better second half of 2023 for Carl Long. 2 top 25s, man. It's good purse money days, and it's just a good confidence booster after literally just going through so much S word all year. I mean, you guys know what I'm going to say. So much crap. And for CHK, this is only the 4th race that they have made all season. They didn't break down. They finished under power. Technically, they finished Charlotte, but they were out of gas. They actually finished the race on pit road. So for CHK, this was their best run of the season as well. And I tell you, man, for a small shop, I mean, Mike Harmon has the smallest race shop, I believe, in the Xfinity Series roster. I believe so. And for him to run as fast as he did You know, he was running ahead of the Our Motorsports cars the entire race. He was running ahead of the 07, 2 of the JD cars the whole race. I mean, really were doing a great job. The 74 would come home 28th. So 2 great days for those underdog teams, 25th and 28th. Disappointing day for JD Motorsports. Was talking to Case, crew chief on the car. They just had some mechanical problems that reduced them to a 29th place finish. Definitely better than that. God dang, I'm watching the SRX right now. This is absolute carnage right now. Good God. Wow, the dirt is just tearing up these front noses. If you guys didn't know, I got SRX on my TV in the background while we're doing this show. My God, these noses are getting torn up. God. But yeah, and then Blaine Perkins down in 33rd. Again, the Our Motorsports team. Without Blaine Perkins, man, I don't even know if they'd still be in business. Patrick Emerlin was 34th. Kyle Weatherman, he fell out of the race. He was doing well, top 20, but then unfortunately had an electrical problem, so that reduced him to 35th. And then, of course, Mason Maggio, 37th. So that was the Xfinity race. The Cup race on Sunday, we had 37 cars. The 62 of Austin Hill was entered. Obviously, the controversy coming out of this one, the top 33 charter battle, which we talk about every week. The 42 is definitely in the spotlight this weekend for all the wrong reasons. Obviously, Noah Gragson and the issues that are plainly obvious. I don't need to go over them. I'm sure you guys have seen the meme. I'm sure you guys have seen the news. And they are no more. They are no more partnership for the rest of the year. Mike Rockenfeller, great pickup, by the way, by Legacy Motor Club. Love Mike Rockenfeller. Absolutely love. Holy crap. Sorry, I just saw the replay of the big crash that you guys were talking about in the SRX race. Jesus. Wow. Again, you got to love these live reactions, folks. I mean, that's the first time I just saw the big one. Deegan's car is destroyed. Wow. Back to wow. But yeah, the 42, obviously the situation with the 42, great pickup by Legacy Motor Club, Mike Rockenfeller, 24 Hours of Le Mans winner, very experienced driver. He drove the crappy Spire car, 77 last year, to a top 30. So they got a shot at a top 20 with Rockenfeller behind the wheel. So that'll be very, very fun. Wow, look at that. Brad Keselowski's got the light hat on. Fire suit's all dirty. He looks halfway pissed off, does not want to talk, and he's still giving a smile. Gotta love Brad. Why does Brad Keselowski get so much hate? God, I love him. That's why he's still my favorite driver. But yeah, for Legacy Motor Club, who else will drive the 42 car for the rest of the year? On the ovals, I could see maybe Justin Allgaier at Talladega because, you know, sometimes he likes to drive the plate races. Maybe Josh Berry, but I don't know if Dale Jr. will allow that because of, you know, Jr. might want Josh to focus on the Xfinity commitments, obviously because they're going for a championship. John Hunter Nemechek, but they're driving Chevrolet right now in John Hunter's Toyota program. It'll be interesting to see who they pick. Carson Hocevar, I've heard that name float around. Carson Hocevar would probably be a good choice considering he is set. I mean, the rumor is that he's going to the 7. So it'll be interesting to see for sure who they picked that 42. They got some time. I mean, we got 2 straight road courses coming up, so it's not like they have to rush to find a driver like they did for Josh Berry. They have time to find a oval driver. They got 2 weeks, and yeah, I'm curious to see who they're going to put in that car. But man, even with Josh Berry behind the wheel, that 42 car is just garbage. It is. I'm sorry. You know, we've talked about it all year. For the people who have watched the show all year, that 42 car is absolute garbage, no matter who's driving it. And I felt for Noah Gragson. That car did not show his true talents. I don't think it would show off anybody's true talents. In fact, I don't even think Rockenfeller, truth to be told, Rockenfeller might not even do anything in that car anyway. Maybe at IMS because he knows that track better than a lot of people, but still. The Rick Ware cars, they struggle for speed at tracks like this, so I knew it was going to be a rough day. They both qualified bad. 36 for Yaley, 33rd for Custer. Balicki, he was the slowest of all. I don't know why Josh runs ovals. He's just not very fast on them. 37 for him. He was slowest. The race did get extended from Sunday to Monday due to rain, sadly. Again, rain on a cup race. Shocker, am I right? So watched the race. Race was good overall. Good action throughout the field. Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott, William Byron, and Josh Berry all crashing early was not something I predicted. That was definitely something I did not see coming. So that was interesting. Then the race had the long green flag runs on the end, and it ended with RFK on Monday. RFK getting 2 straight wins for the first time since 2009. That in itself is a weird statistic. The first time in 14 years that RFK went 2 straight wins, and ironically enough, with the exact same car number. Shout out to the people who remember when Matt Kenseth won in a Carhartt paint scheme. God, that was a good-looking car. But yeah, shout out to Chris Buescher and RFK. First win for Castrol GTX in like 24 years. I think the last time Castrol GTX won a NASCAR race was like when Casey Atwood. Remember Casey Atwood? I think when he drove the 27 car. The 27 car for Bruco. He won. So it's been a while for Castrol GTX. So that was good. Martin Truex Jr. ran second. The Monday streak went away for him, unfortunately. My boy Brad got fourth in that race, so that was good. Legacy Motor Club, I mean, the 42 sucks, but the 43 has been on a roll lately. Another top 10 finish for Eric Jones. Harrison Burton somehow mustered 17th, which for that car is actually good. And Ty Dillon, 7017 has been building some momentum ever since Bono Mannion came over to crew chief the car. 20th place, very respectable finish for that organization. I believe it's one of the few times, if not the first time this year, that both Spire cars were in the top 20. The Rick Ware cars managed 25th and 27th, which even for them is not that bad at a track like Michigan. The 62 managed 28th. Gilliland managed 29th, and Bilicki down in 32nd. Again, Live Fast, really struggling as we get more into the season. Overall, like again, Michigan's a fun race, good race overall. But for the back markers, I thought it was definitely going to be a struggle. We know the 42 sucks. We know the 78 is struggling in the second half of this year. And the Rick Ware cars, they're still putting up a fight. But it's clear that the last couple of races have shown that the 42 and the 77 are definitely not going to make it easy for Rick Ware to keep both charters in this top 33 charter battle. So that was Michigan. That was Michigan again. Fun weekend overall. Wish the Truck Series would come back. Xfinity race was better than the Cup race, but that still is not saying the Cup race was bad. Both races very good. I give them both easy 8 out of 10. Good weekend at Michigan overall. So now we move on to IRP for trucks and Indianapolis road course for Xfinity and Cup. I love the fact that the Truck Series is back at IRP, or as I knew it for a long time, ORP, O'Reilly Raceway Park. It's a fun little short track in Brownsburg, Indiana, about 15 minutes away, if that, from the actual Big Daddy racetrack. So very, very fun racetrack over there. I got the ARCA series running over there as well, and I believe some also local support divisions. So fun weekend of race, fun day of racing there tomorrow. And then, of course, you got the Truck Series as the main event tomorrow. The T-Sport 200, big entry list for this race. We got 39 trucks for 36 spots. 3 trucks will go home. The wild card entries. Late deal, by the way. This was literally put together only, I think, the same day. Matt Mills driving the 02 for Youngs. That was not originally planned. Landon Lewis in the 04 from the West Series. ARCA West Series, he'll be in the 04 for Roper. Lane Riggs from the Cars Tour will be in the 7. We got Greg Van Alst. Now, some news on there, too. Not only will Greg Van Alst be driving the 20 for Young's Motorsports, he will also be in that truck for the remainder of 2023 as well. So great for Greg Van Alst. The 22 AM truck. This is an AM truck this weekend. It'll be Logan Bearden, who's run road races for them. Chris Hacker is back in the 30. Josh Riom is driving his own 33. Shane Van Gisberen. Is that how you pronounce it? Shane Van Gisberen? Can someone in the chat tell me Gisberen? Is that how you pronounce it right? I'm sorry if I'm not. It's a cool name. I wish I could pronounce it correctly. So if I did, I'm good. If I didn't, I'm sorry. He'll be in the Gisbergan. Okay. Sorry. I'm trying my best here, guys. He'll be in the 41 truck, so he's making his oval debut in the Truck Series. So that's cool. That's pretty cool. We got Chad Chastain in the 44, Armani Williams in the 46 for G2G. Tyler Hill's in the 56 this weekend. That's a hair club sponsorship deal, so that's cool. Jake Drew, love this entry. Jake Drew driving the 61 for Hattori. Absolutely what this kid deserves after dominating the ARCA West last year. Deserves this ride, and it's a race-winning ride, not just a good ride. It's race-winning. And that's pretty much the other oddball entries. So 3 trucks going home. Honestly, I know we say that Nice Motorsports has good equipment, but, with how rookie Chad Chastain is, and he really hasn't run that well. We've got 3 trucks going home this weekend, and unfortunately, I'm actually going to put the 44 on that list. The 44 has little to no owner points. They've only ran 1 race this year, I believe, with Caden Honeycutt at Pocono. So the 44's got the least amount of owner points of everyone. And I don't see Chad making it. He's inexperienced. We know he's run quite a bit lately, but he's still pretty inexperienced. And unfortunately, I'm going to put him on the DNQ list. I don't think he's going to make it. I like G2G, but I don't think they're going to make it either. I am actually going to throw a curveball. I'm going to say Josh Rayom makes it. After he somehow made Pocono on speed, I think Josh Rayom actually makes the race. And I'm going to say the 12 of Spencer Boyd will be my final DNQ pick. So I'm going to go with the 44, 46, and the 12 for my DNQ picks. Because I think the 33's really got a good show. When you put Rayom in these situations where he's got to make the show on time, and he actually tries, not like Darlington where he just didn't try, at a track where he's actually good at short tracks, that's his ace, I think they have a good shot at making it. Is this literally all? I'm watching SRX. Is this literally all they have for the main event? What, 1, 2, 3, 4? How many cars are even starting the main event? See here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Not all the cars are starting the main event. Wow. 1, 2, 8 cars. Wow. 8 of the 52 cars are 52 cars. 8 of the 12 cars are starting the main event. Oh, man, that's not a good look. That's not the best look. But, I mean, what are you going to do? In a series where you don't have only 1 or 2 backup cars at most, what are you going to do? Or maybe, what, do they have 9? 9, maybe 9? I don't know. I don't know if I'm reading that right. But, man, that's rough, man. That's really rough. So, that sucks for SRX. But, yeah, I think the final DNQ position is going to come down to either Spencer Boyd or Josh Rayom. But I would say Josh over Spencer. Yeah. And, man, I don't know. SRX, man. SRX was fun in 2021. I don't know about it now. Still cool. But, wow. Seeing only 8 of the 12 entries, that's got to suck for the fans who paid to see guys like Dylan, Briscoe, Kanan, who are not out there. But, yeah, continuing on for the Truck Series, those are the DNQ picks. My race winners pick, oh, God, man, a track like this. I'm actually going to go with Grant Enfinger. I think he's going to go 2 years in a row. And my dark horse pick, we'll go with Lane Riggs. Why not? Lane Riggs will be my dark horse pick. There is some rumors, though, that the GMS Racing Truck Team might not exist next year. That was floated today right now. The GMS Truck Team might not exist. That's a shame because, like I said, they are a Chevrolet team, and we know Legacy Motor Club is going to Toyota. I don't think the GMS Truck Team will go to Toyota. So could this be the end of the GMS Truck Team, which would really suck for Grant Enfinger? I mean, everywhere this guy goes, he gets shafted out of rides. So that would suck. Unshockingly, we got Tony Stewart leading the dirt race. I mean, who saw that coming? Can't believe Brad's actually racing good on the dirt. Huh. But yeah, so I think it's going to be a fun truck race overall. Hopefully we don't see Carson Hocevar yeet someone into the wall again like we saw last year. Hopefully we don't see John Hunter Nemechek wreck Taylor Gray again like he did last year. So, yeah, so Truck Series could look very different next year. GMS Racing might not exist. Who knows? Just all rumor right now, but we'll see. But yeah, those are my DNQ picks. Qualifying is tomorrow. I will be at work while that's going on, so I won't be live, unfortunately, for that, guys. Apologize for that. But yeah, those are my DNQ picks. We now move to the Pennzoil 150 at the Brickyard. Cool name for the show. We got 42 cars for 38 spots. One of the more entertaining Xfinity qualifying sessions of the year. The oddball entries, we got Kyle Weatherman is back in the 4 for JD Motorsports this week. Colin Garrett, it's kind of a fun story, or sad story, I guess I should say. He's in the 07. Catherine Legg was supposed to be in that car, but apparently due to the rider strike in Hollywood, her sponsorship deal fell through. So Colin Garrett takes over. The 08 will be Camden Murphy, monster truck driver. We got Andre Castro back for Jesse Awuji Motorsports. Alex LeBay will be in the 35 for Emerling Gase Motorsports. Josh Balicki will be in the 36 for Mario Goslin. Connor Daly, will be in the 44 for Tommy Joe Martins. Sage Karam will be in the 45. Preston Pardis returns with his own organization in the 50. Brad Perez, everybody's favorite Brad Perez, will be in the 53. Will Rogers will be in the 66. Arguably the best choice that MBM had of the available road course drivers. It looks like that the sponsor was actually Recap Recover Energy Drink, which is Dexter Stacy's sponsor, I believe. So maybe Dexter stepped aside to get the car in the show, which is what matters, honestly. And then you got Miguel Paludo in the 88 junior entry, and Ross Chastain will be in the 91 DGM entry. Now, this one is interesting. This one is really interesting, man. The DNQs of this race, man. I don't know how to call it. I think the 66 will be fine. I think the 66 will do good. Will Rogers is an amazing road racer. And where the 66 might not have power down the straightaway, it'll make up with Will Rogers in the corners. And I believe same thing goes for some of the other teams, like the 53. Brad Perez, good in the corners, maybe not on the straightaways. But for a team like Andre Castro, the 34 will have a Hendrick motor. So where they might not be good in the corners, they'll make it up for in the straightaways. Kind of goes both ways. But I tweeted it out. My DNQ picks, I tweeted out saying the 07, the 08, I think both of the SS Greenlight cars missed this one, unfortunately. I think the 66 makes it in. 34, I believe, will make it in. Andre did pretty good at the road course. I think Connor Daly misses the show. And I think Blaine Perkins will miss the show as well. Blaine's not been the best on the road courses either. So those are my DNQ picks. You can call it maybe some controversial. But I know Connor Daly. Connor Daly's a cool guy, but I've never really been sold on his road racing skills, in my opinion. He's mediocre at best in IndyCar. He hasn't shown anything in the Cup Series. I know his car is junk in the Cup Series, but he still hasn't shown anything for me. I don't think he'll make it. Unfortunately. I think the 44 will go home again. I think both of the SS Greenlight cars will go home, and like I said, I think the 02 will go home as well. It'll be interesting to see, man. And if you also saw, no CHK. They are skipping all remaining road course races this year, including the Charlotte Roval. Unless there's only 38 cars entered, then they'll go. Obviously, they'll be in the show. But CHK, expect them to skip all remaining road course and races. They will be at Daytona. Just saying they will. Believe Mike Harmon will actually be attempting that one himself. So I think Mike Harmon will be behind the wheel at Daytona. So, yeah. Yeah, and yes, you're right. Daniel in the chat, theoretically, issues for the 70, the 88 and the 17, if they have an issue, like we saw it with Alex Bowman at COTA, if they have a flat tire before they complete a lap, or they are just too slow, they would go home as well. But obviously, we don't expect them to go home because they're, competitive. But those are my DNQ picks. My race winners pick, I'm going to pick AJ Allmendinger. I mean, who else would you pick? He's the easy pick to win, so I'm going to pick AJ Allmendinger. My dark horse pick, I'm going to actually go with, I'm actually going to go with Cole Custer, my dark horse. So it should be a fun race. That's going to be on Saturday. And then the Cup race, the Big Daddy, the Verizon 200 at the Brickyard. 39 cars for 40 spots, so no DNQs. Like we thought we were going to get a full field. But boy, do we have ourselves a special race this weekend. Lots of special entries in this race. This is going to be one of the races of the year, in my personal opinion, even though I'm not the biggest road course guy. Yes, we also have Jordan Anderson doing Daytona with America's crew chief Larry McReynolds. I do believe it didn't like Jordan Anderson marry like Larry McReynolds' daughter or something? Isn't that how this deal came together? If I'm correct, didn't he marry his daughter or something? But yeah, 39 cars, some great entries here. We got Jenson Button, the F1 ace, in the 15 for Rick Ware. We got the 33 of Brody Kostecki from the Supercars. 42 of Mike Rockenfeller, the Le Mans winner. We got the 51 of Andy Lally, the Rolex 24 champion, multiple times. The 67 of Kamui Kobayashi. God, this guy's a beast everywhere. I believe he is a Le Mans winner. He's won the Rolex 24. I mean, this guy is an absolute beast. I believe has he won an F1? I don't know if he has, but he's been successful in F1. And of course, the Chicago race winner, Shane Van Gisberen. I'm trying my best, guys. Trying my best, guys, to pronounce it correctly. But yeah, very special group of drivers in this race. It's going to be a very, very fun race to watch. I don't know what to say. I don't know. I don't think Shane's going to win Indy, but I can tell you this. I think an open car wins this race. I'm going to say it right now. An open car, I'm expecting to win this race. Either the 67, 91, or the 33. I don't expect a NASCAR Cup regular to win this race. And if they do, it's by nefarious means. So if I had to give an honest pick, I'm going to go with Kamui. I'm going to go with Kamui Kobayashi to win. Oh, Brad wrecked in the SRX race. Dang it. Boy, Brad Keselowski and dirt just does not go well together. Dang it. Oh, well. But no, I think Kamui is going to win. From what they said in testing, he was miles ahead of where they thought he would be. So I think Kamui is going to be an absolute beast out there. And he'll wreck his teammates to win the race if he has to. That's just how Kamui races. He doesn't care if you're his teammate or your best friend. When those helmet visor go down, it's on. It's on. We got a lot of Trackhouse. We got a lot of Trackhouse wins. AJ Allmendinger, I mean, that's a good choice as well. And let's not forget AJ. He won here in 2021. So lots of great choices, but I'm going to go with Kamui. Brody, he is going to be hard to beat. It's kind of funny. I predict that both Brody Kostecki and SVG will run better than their chartered teammates, which I think is kind of funny to see. So it's going to be a fun race. I'm actually looking forward to this one. I do still want the Cup Series to go back to the Oval. And, I've never even said I hate the Roval. I just prefer them on the Oval. So if they want to go to Indianapolis twice a year, one race on the Roval, one race on the Oval, I'm okay with that. But I think we need to have the Brickyard 400 back. And with a car that, can actually maybe do something. I mean, the Gen 6 car just didn't work, unfortunately. Really, any car has not worked on the Brickyard. But I think we have a car like this. It's different, something new. Let's see what it can do on the Oval. And you know what? If it's not good, we'll see. Maybe we can rotate year to year. But I want to give this car a shot on the Brickyard. I really want to give it a shot. I think it'd be a lot of fun. I think the fans would enjoy it. I think it would get a good crowd. I think it would get a lot better of a crowd than people would think. So I think it's worth an experiment. I was seeing more AJ. Yeah, AJ won in an open car as well. So, but I think an open car wins this race. Either way. If it's not Kamui, I think an open car will win this race either way. So, I thank you guys for joining me. I know, like I said, I wanted to get a podcast out for you guys quickly. For the people who have tuned in, who didn't know, I was going to pick up a junker car for some fun driving, some mud driving, some fun shit, an old cheap manual car. You guys, I don't know if you guys do that too, but I went to got a cheap manual car to do some fun driving. So that's why I missed the show live, but still thank all of you for tuning in. The fact that we still have this many live viewers at 9:30 p.m., you guys really mean the world to me. And I thank you for being loyal viewers of this podcast. But I'm going to get out of your hairs, guys. I know it's late. For the people who are on the East Coast watching me at 10:30 p.m., y'all are a really bunch of troopers. For the people on the West Coast who it's only, 7:30 there, good for you. And everybody watching in the Midwest, again, thank you all for watching. And I'm gonna get out of your hairs. We're gonna enjoy the rest of SRX tonight. And hopefully Brad can win. I don't think that's gonna happen now, but yeah, let's all enjoy the rest of SRX. I will catch y'all next week with the ARC Racing podcast at the appropriate time, 7 p.m. And yes, have a great rest of your Thursday and a great weekend overall. And let's all enjoy Indianapolis together. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe to the channel. Turn on that bell for all notifications so you guys never miss a podcast when we go live. And I will see y'all later. Colby Evans, starting park car, signing off. So long, guys.